7 o'clock, and I'll call this meeting to order. Will all join me in this pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, all board members present. Item 4, acceptance of agenda, acceptance of selectmen's meetings of May 19th. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we accept them as presented. Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the minutes of May 19th as written. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
I wasn't there, so I
One
abstained.
for, one extension.
2.
3-0-2.
Oh, 3. Okay. 3-2. Gotcha. Thank you. Item 5, acceptance of agenda.
We have no 11th hour, and we do need the executive session.
No 11th hour?
No 11th hour.
Move accepted.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the agenda as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Open to public. At this time, I want to recognize our town historian, Charlene Knox Ferris. Call your attention to 8B on our agenda, which is a proposal to make a change to street name. That is Goodall Street. And here about a year ago, Charlene did a program to the Historical Society on the origins of our town street names. So she is going to speak to us for a few minutes to tell us the reason behind the name of Goodall Street. Charlene.
Well, I will be official. I am Charlene Knox Ferris. I am a resident of Searsport, and I am the official town historian. And things like this are under my job description, I think. And I do have some information I'd like to share. Many of our town street names relate to significant pieces of our town's history. I'm pretty sure that's true in all towns and cities. For example, Mount Ephraim Road was named for Ephraim Stimson, one of the first settlers in the Bog Hill area. A man very well loved by all the people who lived there, especially the children, and everybody called him Uncle Ephraim. Ephraim Stimson drowned. The road's name is in his memorial. Leach Street, named for the town's first postmaster, Andrew Leach. Norris Street, named for the man who established the town's first blacksmith shop in that area. And now we come to Goodall Street. Notice it's pronounced Goodall. It is not pronounced the way that other guy pronounces his name, the commissioner. Captain Daniel Smith Goodall was born in 1818 and was one of Searsport's age of sail sea captains who sailed by the sun, the moon, and the compass around the world and back. Our town had several hundred such men, a world record still unbeaten for a town of its size. Captain Goodall and his wife Mary had 5 children. Their 2 sons also became Searsport sea captains. The family lived in a lovely large home on downtown Main Street. The last of the family to live there was Mrs. William Goodall, the former Elizabeth Whitcomb, also of Searsport. Mrs. Goodall had a disease in her later years that required regular blood transfusions. I know this because as a young child growing up on Steamboat Avenue, I remember the day that my father told me about it. My dad's name was Charles Knox. He and his brother Earl had a fuel oil business in Searsport called Knox Brothers. Because of this business, it seemed to me, a little girl, that everyone in town knew my dad. Maybe that's how he came to know Mrs. Goodall. I don't know. But it was what he told me that made this a memory for me that I still carry. I think I was about 6 years old. My dad was explaining to me that morning before he left the house that he was going to the hospital to give some of his blood to Mrs. Goodall. I had never heard of that before, and it kind of frightened me. He explained that his blood and hers matched, and that it didn't hurt, and he gave some of his blood to her on a regular basis so she wouldn't get sick. He said, "It's something I can do to help a very kind lady from a very fine family that has been an important part of our town's history. It is an honor for me to do this." I remember that so well, the word honor. In the 1950s or early 1960s, the Goodall House was moved off its lot and up onto Pike Avenue to make way for the Heritage Bank. It was at this time that a newly configured street was created and named Goodall Street in honor of this family. There are many more historic stories behind our street names. I've only told you a few. They preserve our town's history. They were chosen by those people who lived in Searsport at the time of their creation out of respect. I believe that's a very important part of our town's history and one we shouldn't mess with. Thank you.
Hey, Shelley.
Thank you.
Anyone else from open to public want to speak at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 7, old business. 7A, personal policy book changes, discussion and action. James, what do you have on that?
Yeah, this is your second meeting. It was tabled from the last, and it was also talked about in a workshop. The changes were to the appointive authority. We will be deleting, or hope to be deleting, the keeper of weights and measures, because that's taken care of on the state level now. And in appointments, we are going to add road commissioner, wastewater superintendent, and department heads to make it clearer in the policy. And under section 12-200, under overtime, a little wordsmithing to make it clearer. The original language said that we were paying double time and a half. That doesn't exist on the books or in our record. So it'll change to saying that employees will be paid for time and a half for the hours worked. In addition to that, they will receive an additional straight pay only for the hours worked that day, with a cap of 8 hours for the day. That more clearly illustrates what we do, and we don't have double time and a half pay. Those are the only two changes being proposed for this year.
I wasn't here at the last meeting, but they seem to make sense. So I'll make a motion that we approve the 2 amendments to section 2-100 and section 12-200.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to make the 2 changes. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion? 5-0. 7B, municipal waste after 2018, whether it be with PERC or Fiberite. James, what do you have on
And you'll
that?
notice that this is a discussion item only, according to the agenda. This has been on the plate for over 6 months. That's why it remains on old business. The 2 operational proposals have been part of workshop, part of individual meetings that board members and myself have had. And I do want to, I've done the research and want to point out to the board that in the last warrant for town meeting, regular town meeting, the board was authorized to enter into contracts as they deem necessary. I think we would want this perhaps to be a final decision in your next meeting. And you'll see under 8D, there's a workshop scheduled to determine if you need more time to talk about it. We also have some folks from PERC here. They saw it on our agenda and thought it might be a convenient time to answer any questions you might have, but don't want to obligate you to that. If you wanted to set up a workshop and have people come in from both sides, that's fine, or it's really the board's decision as to how you want to move forward.
I think this needs to be workshopped. I think it's a big enough issue for us to discuss in a workshop.
What's the feeling of the rest of the board?
This workshop's gotta put this thing to bed, gotta bring it to
I
a
agree.
vote. No.
I'd move to table it to the next regular meeting, but discuss it in workshop.
That a motion?
Sure.
I'll second
So, if a motion been made and seconded to table this, to our next meeting, once we have a workshop?
Yeah, after if we you think we're gonna set a workshop between now and
Right.
the next meeting.
Table to the next meeting, but discussion in the workshop.
Okay.
When you set, I think we can set something the next 2 weeks.
In the next meeting for a decision.
Yep. Any discussion on the motion?
Since these people are here, should, do you have anything to say, or?
We don't have to speak, we came solely to answer your questions, and that, so that's it. I mean, I think we probably flooded you with information and inundated you with all
Yes.
kinds of stuff, so, I mean, I don't wanna take up your time
Okay.
on,
Well, maybe to be a little more courteous to them, if the chair wouldn't mind, we can take up the workshop schedule next. Figure out the date so that you know, and that way they don't have to
Yep.
wait till the very end of the meeting. If that's okay, it's the suggestion.
I didn't catch who made the second.
Aye. Okay, motion been made and seconded to, take no action on it till our next meeting, after which, prior to which we'll have a workshop. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Okay, 5-0. All these folks here, why don't we set a date for the workshop? Maybe a week from tonight?
could I beg?
Yeah, sure.
My physical is on the 16th, and my doctor swears he'll just kill me if I don't show up because I postponed it twice. Is there any way we can?
Well, okay, what would be a,
You don't want us to schedule them.
No, because he'll kill me.
I'll help you out.
Thanks. The week after would be just wonderful, but next week is a mess for me.
that'd be our meeting.
Yeah, the next meeting is the 21st, so it has to be between.
How about the Thursday after that, Tuesday, next Tuesday?
That would be the 16th. And
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it Monday, Tuesday, I
I'm
can.
not in that, I'm not available for that night either. It's,
No, okay.
it's a
How about
meeting.
14th, the Flag Day 14th?
14th, I can post.
14th to what?
Tuesday next. And that works
Is that-
well for us.
Okay, that'll be next
Election night?
Tuesday.
Well,
That is election night, but,
It will all be next door.
yeah, the polls will be
Yeah,
open until 8
yeah, it's no.
Okay, so this will be next Tuesday night.
next Tuesday night, 6:30.
Okay.
And I mean, I could also say, the staff, Hank's the plant manager and he's got a great staff, so I mean, we could cover it either way, it's just.
We do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, this will be good.
Yeah, I'm just ballot clerking in Lincolnville.
So I'll make a motion that we
Your
have a.
ballot clerking on the 14th?
Yes.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock, but.
Oh,
That's fine.
at 8, so we'll be done
Yeah.
after that.
Okay.
What time?
6:30 is as we usually do.
So I'll make a motion that we have a workshop on June 14th at 6:30 right here.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to have a workshop next Tuesday night, June 14th, 6:30. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you very much.
Next Tuesday night?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My doctor thinks, but I thank you.
Are you sure about that?
I know how that goes.
I just want it done.
Number 8, new business. Is there anyone here from the museum, James?
Yes.
There is.
Yeah, Liz is here.
Okay.
Liz Lodge,
And you are who, ma'am?
I'm Liz Lodge, I'm the executive director of the museum.
Whoa.
the
Welcome.
boss.
You can step up, Paul.
Sure.
The Norfolk Marine Museum has been a part of our town now for almost 80 years. And in that time, it has been more or less a caretaker of our town's maritime history. And we appreciate that.
It's our pleasure.
Past several months now, members of the staff of the museum have been working with us, putting together our first ever Searsport Maritime Heritage Weekend. That too we appreciate.
Well, we're very excited about that.
Back in 1939, our legislature adopted an official Maine merchant and marine flag. And one of the first vessels that flag was flown on was the Attic exploration school, the Bowden, which is now part of the fleet of Maine Maritime. What we have here is a gift from Town Searsport Selectmen Museum. James, would you? Certainly that. Put it upside down. But this is.
You got the bottom side there, Jack.
Oh, there we go. I knew
That's wonderful.
Took a committee to do that.
That's right. Took a board.
On behalf of Town Searsport, my pleasure to present the product to the museum in the Maine merchant and marine flag.
Oh, thank you so much.
Certainly hope you'll fly it with pride.
James,
We
could
will
you go
fly
around
it
the corner so we
with
could see?
pride.
By all means.
Thank you.
Just keep going, Jane.
Well, certainly we are
Wow.
honored to fly this at the museum, and we are 80 years old
That's
this year, so it's very fitting and a
Okay.
wonderful gift. We very much support the town and are honored to be part of the town for 80 years.
Oh, glad to have you.
Jack, can I get a picture? James, if you'll move over
I'll
a little
move
bit
out.
so
I got you.
Liz can get in there.
You were part of it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
There you go.
Come toward the middle.
All we need is a smile, Jack.
Here it goes quicker.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I also brought you some calendars of events so you can check in with all the things happening at the museum this year.
Pass that to Charlene.
And just for everyone's knowledge, there will be several of these flying around town here to some of various
Thank you.
locations.
Very cool.
And hopefully for several more summers.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.
You want the bag that came in?
Sure.
Sure. There you go.
I have to give her one, she's already got one.
Item 8B, street name change proposal, discussion and action. Richard, you have something you want to say about this, did you? I understand.
Well, since the idea was floated to change the name of Patriot Street, I've heard from several people that was the name change that went to a family in town. They felt that the family, probably there was nobody left of that family, but he wants the family in town, so it didn't surprise me that a historian would pick up on that in her research. I think maybe we best leave it alone. That's my opinion at this point.
I mean, I would say if enough people want to change it, they can put together a petition and
Right.
present it
Go to town meeting.
that way. It sounds like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm always interested in hearing both sides and hearing a pretty persuasive argument
Yeah.
to keep it. I didn't learn that, I learned that today, so thank you, Charlene.
Problem with a petition, they could come and say Tom Brady Street. Tom Brady isn't going to be here in
Oh,
10
sure.
years.
Right.
But then they're gonna have to make a good argument for
At-
that
at
at
town
town
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah.
And
Don't we have a street name committee?
Road committee.
it kind of,
It's kind of funked.
yeah, once everything was settled for E911, that was really no longer needed. So,
Jack, I got a question for Charlene
Sure.
on this. You said that street wasn't cut in till the 1950s, so that street is not an original street to the town?
I think it was not paved. It's hard for me to remember. I remember walking home at the building where Tozer's is wasn't there, but the one that was closer to the street and ran
well,
this
that was
way.
still there when I came.
The little, let's call it a mall, for mini mall, where the pizza place is and the laundry and all that, that wasn't there at all. the house was there. And then they moved that, and the bank is what started the changes there. After that,
That was in the '60s when I was around here.
Yes,
That
it
was, there was a little street, there was a little unpaved street that came down through there.
right,
Bud Hawley's garage was on where the Dakins is, and the building that the
Right.
laundromat and stuff ran wasn't
Put him in
there.
there, no.
There was, the old Gulf Station used to be on the other side, and there was a little grocery store there with a laundromat by it
right.
that was there, started about '63.
Yeah,
The rest of
Howard
that
Rubin.
street really wasn't,
No, that's what I was.
it wasn't a street that
No,
you would drive
No,
down.
it was just a
no.
dirt
Path.
So,
yes, right, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I know that it was either in the late 50s or the early 60s, because I think we were still in the grammar school, because I think I remember going down the street the day they were moving it, the house.
Thank you.
there was
Just curious.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, I would say if some people are interested, they can put a petition. And,
That's right.
you know, it seems like there's some good reason that it's there. It's not a random.
That's right. No, I'm all in favor of taking anything to town meeting.
Yeah, I
People
think.
request.
You know, I mean, I think there was the issue last time we changed the street name was Marathon with the adding or removing an R. I think that was the
Right.
last thing we did. I'm not sure. I don't think we did that by petition. I think we just took it upon ourselves to do
Well, it was,
It was requested.
the research was done to
It was
the
a report.
first town reports.
Right.
Bill had completed that and did discover that it was first referred to in our first town report with the one-off.
Right.
that. Yeah, so I would say that unless it's kind of obvious, we should.
We purposely didn't put that road committee out of business. We just, I remember the meeting, we decided to leave it
Mhm.
as needed, and any change should go to that committee. I think, I don't know who, it was Joe and Bill Terry, I remember.
I think they were the
Right.
last two on it.
So it's kind of an ad hoc. We'd have to reestablish it. So
Yeah.
I'd say unless there's a lot of support, I wouldn't want to even
I
put it
wouldn't
to
even
committee.
know.
That's,
Yep.
There was
I think it's good the way it is.
man came up with a camera and took pictures of the sign, and then came in and spoke to Dale. He was Goodell, the commissioner's brother-in-law, and he was taking pictures to show his brother-in-law.
Oh, I see.
And you know, he was looking at it as a funny type thing.
Okay, I see. Now I get this. Okay. I'm not a Patriots fan, so I'm not getting a lot of this stuff. So I probably
How's
voted-
Miami going?
I'd probably vote against this at town meeting. So, but yeah, I'd say unless there's a lot of support.
Right.
You're
Any,
ashamed to say you're a Dolphins fan?
I'm never ashamed. I'm just ashamed when they lose.
any other discussion from the board on this street name change?
We haven't got a motion, have we?
No.
Make a motion, we take it off.
Remove it from the
Take
table.
off, remove it.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to, table it
Remove it.
or remove it?
Remove it.
Okay, remove this,
Take no action.
remove it. Any discussion?
It's take no,
Take
it
no
should say
action,
take
really.
no action.
Right. All those in favor? 5-0. Item 8C, resignation of staff and replacement, discussion and action.
Yeah, I
Okay.
regretfully have to report that after working with us for several years, Patsy Wood has decided to retire. Good for her, bad for us. She's been a great employee, and she'll be very much missed. She's the official baker of town for the staff. What I do need to do, though, is have the board recognize that there's an opening and give permission for me to advertise for a replacement. We're not sure how the hours will be, but I would envision an advertisement that said 16 plus hours, because come summer it's 40 hours for several weeks while people are on vacation. But the basic day-to-day, week-to-week, and normal operating hours is 16 hours.
Make a motion, we accept Patsy Wood's resignation and declare an opening and advertise the position at 16 plus hours.
I'll second. With gratitude, of course, to Patsy.
Absolutely.
Motion been made and seconded to accept Patsy's resignation.
And to
And-
authorize to.
Authorize James to advertise for replacement. Any discussion?
Second.
Oh, second. Or he. I second.
Sorry, second.
Oh, you're getting ready for the vote then, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I beat you.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All those in favor? 5-0. Okay, we've already scheduled the workshop. Is there anything else that needs to go to workshop? Well, James?
Not at this time.
Correspondence.
3 items included in correspondence. The first page is from a newsletter sent to us from the Game Loft. I thought it would be interesting to include this because much of the Game Loft's community learning event actually took place in Searsport this spring, and that's a little excerpt telling us how they did. The next 2 items were emails that came in, and the first was from Chris Murphy thanking the town of Searsport for honoring their mother by closing the office so that the staff could attend the services. The next item is from Lori Booker, and she is the communications director for the Orlando Melbourne International Airport. She unfortunately got caught up in the detour of traffic where we had a fatal accident on the east side of Route 1, and she was actually writing to praise us for the diligent work, the friendly personal direction at each corner, and the great job that our emergency services did to get traffic moved around a very, very difficult situation. And she's actually looking for property in Searsport. And now she's very serious about buying because she knows we have our act together. That's it.
You forward copies to the departments?
I have, yeah. That's it.
Item 11, treasurer's warrants. I have a motion on the warrants.
I'll move that we approve those pending our signatures.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the warrants pending signature. Any discussion? All those in favor? Town manager report. James, what do you have?
Public Works crew continue to replace culverts and work on ditching roads that will be paved this year. Paving bids came in low, and we anticipate that we'll be able to squeeze in a little more work. The bids are not as low as we'd hoped they would be, and probably not low enough to justify a borrowing. The crew did a great job in getting cemeteries ready for Memorial Day. The crosswalks were painted last month. We currently are advertising for cemetery help. I think it would be a good idea to hire 2 people to work on the rest of the summer and use Adam to drive truck and work with the crew in road building. Our construction season is short, and it will be much harder to find a laborer that will help us build roads than in the cemetery. We closed the search for the transfer station attendant this past week. We did receive several good applications, and we will conduct interviews later this week. In wastewater, the plant is experiencing pump problems. Dan, Howard, and Bob were all down last weekend trying to fix a particular pump problem. There are 2 effluent pumps that basically control the plant operations. The impeller on one of the pumps is damaged. For some unknown reason, the pump is losing pressure. They managed to get it to function for the time being and are ordering parts to repair it, and some for a spare. The crew is doing well. The Carver Memorial staff is doing well. I have no news to report on operations. I did hire Scott Dakin to repair some loose shingles on the roof. We plan to repair the back steps and replace the retaining wall behind the library. I also spoke with our paint contractor, and he believes that he will be working on this project later this month. The ambulance responded to 55 calls for service in May. The crew did 3 interfacility transfers. We are currently 57 calls ahead of last year at this time. Both ambulances are running good. Adrian reports that this time of year it is hard to find people to work. Many are planning their vacations, and he and Logan are picking up the slack. Fire department responded to 10 calls for service and issued 101 burn permits in May. Chief Webster reports no vehicle equipment problems for May. In code enforcement, Randy is very busy with new permit applications. Building season is well underway. He reports that the Maine DEP monitored industrial operations last month for compliance. He has not received an official report, but heard that the operations were in compliance. The police department has received 209 calls for service during the month. Officer Mushrall attended the Glock Armorer's course and is now certified to repair our weapons. The department covered a fatal accident caused by a medical emergency on East Main Street last month, which caused a great deal of traffic problems. All vehicles are up to date on service and running well. In recreation, last month Carrie organized the Memorial Day Parade and ceremonies, and they were very well attended. She is now working hard on organizing the events for the 4th of July and continues to work on the Maritime Heritage Days and Fling into Fall. In the town office, we continue to see an increased number of vehicle registrations over last year. We are preparing for the upcoming election. I am asking a few contractors for estimates to replace the roof on Union Hall. We do not have enough in the reserve to replace it, but we do need to know how much to add for next year to get this in the budget. I am also getting estimates for touching up the paint on the outside as well. The Downtown Revitalization Committee met last month and discussed some possible downtown design options. The Comprehensive Planning Committee held a public outreach session in North Searsport. The Historic Preservation Committee had a meeting with the State Historic Preservation Specialist to recommend for recommendations on how to protect our historic buildings. And that's my report.
We accept the report.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the town manager's report. Any discussion? All those in favor? Selectmen report. Aaron, anything?
I'm just wondering if we could do maybe a brief moment of silence for Valerie.
Certainly.
So, as you all know, she passed away recently, and I think it's appropriate, if that's okay with the board.
At this time, I'll call for a motion of silence for Mother Searsport, Valerie Murphy. Thank you very much.
That's all I have.
The lady was one of a kind.
Yes. I have nothing.
Matt?
I don't have anything, other than I will agree that she was certainly a major asset to this town.
Doug? Anything?
James mentioned the comprehensive plan. The North Searsport meeting was somewhat disappointing on the turnout. However, I want people to know that they'll be meeting June 23rd at Curtis Hall on Church Street, 8 Church Street, at 6:30, and it's not too late to give input, which of course we are looking for. We want all areas of the town covered, and you can come to meetings, put something in writing. I know some people did the surveys, so that's probably good. But we hope to hear from some other people, since that meeting wasn't very well attended. That's it.
The only thing I got is the fireworks are moving along. They're going to be, unless there's a change, they're going to be on the last leg of the town wharf, and it should be some exciting fireworks out there. And we're getting some vendors, some people interested in, moving that barrier forward down in Marsman Park, moving it down to the water, to the top of the edge of the park before it drops into the water. Has opened up some room for some vendors, and we're working on vendors, and we got a couple of them that were interested today, and Don's working on gathering the information, sending registration and all of that stuff. So I think there's going to be a big crowd at Marsman Park. I think it's going to be a big crowd down at the dock.
So are they going to be bigger?
Yes.
They're going to be bigger?
Yeah, the shells will go from a 3-inch shell,
Or
which
6-inch.
doesn't go very high up, to a 6-inch shell.
That's appropriate. Since
And they got a new shell that's supposed to be rather exciting, that I think we're only getting one of them. But
Only takes one, right?
So we're not using
as
a
long
bar.
as it goes where it's up that way, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
We're not gonna use the barge?
No barge.
No barge.
We're gonna have it at the end of the wharf.
Go at the end of the wharf. You need 800 square feet. The last leg of the wharf has almost 1,300 square feet. So they got plenty of room to do it there. And, did Steve ever get up and shoot the distances again?
He did not report back to me. The last I spoke to him, I was wanting to make sure that with the shells that he can put them up in the same area that we see our fireworks in front of the park, and he said, with these shells you'll have no problem. But that's his words and not the town manager's words.
So people can go to the wharf, but they're still going to basically explode. We get a closer view to the.
They're not going to be allowed on the wharf. They probably will have to go
Put me
15
like
or
a
20
parking
feet
lot.
away from it.
In that area, I meant.
Yeah, that area.
But they're still going to be launched towards the park.
Yes.
Check
Well,
out the-
they're going up. They're going to go. If they're going up twice the distance, they'll be very visible.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you had something else?
Sorry, I forgot. I wanted to thank Charlene for that presentation, and I'm sorry that I have misspoke, called it Goodell Street for about 50 years. So,
Okay, you have, oh my.
yeah, yeah, that's, you know how old I am.
We'll fix that.
Shame on you.
That's interesting. And I take it Elm Street was because of the elms,
Yes.
which are now gone,
That's right.
and that's very unfortunate.
But it's wonderful to have the memory that they were there.
Yeah, I'd like to see a program someday to plant. The tree was absolutely lined. There were two in front of every house. I'd like to see a program, maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 4 at some point in time. They're hard to get growing from seedlings. The Boy Scouts tried it, 15, 20 years ago. They didn't make it. That's something to think about. There's no elms left. There's some elms way in the back of my house, what we call the gully. But they don't make it. They last for a couple of years. They're from seed.
Oh, okay.
Birds plant them, but they don't make it. I should probably check and see if there's still Dutch elm disease around. Was there
Yes,
ever a
sure.
cure for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought there was a disease-resistant elm.
Yeah, I thought they had developed a new one.
Yeah, and so you know, a nursery could grow it from a seedling to, a 5 or a 7 foot tree, and then from there you could probably replant them.
Since I live there, I think I want to follow up on that.
I think that's great.
I think George is going to inform you about at least one elm.
Yeah, the elm we planted for 9/11 at the corner of Elm Street and
Right.
Route 1 on the property of the church is an American elm which is Dutch resistant.
Okay.
American.
And that's doing very well.
Isn't
Yes.
that wonderful? Yes.
So that would, we could do more of that. So.
Yes. Anything else then?
Sorry.
Richard, you all done?
We always run the risk on the night of the fireworks of sea turn and inclement weather and everything. But we know we're going to have a lot of people coming to this fireworks. I heard it today. I was over in Bucksport, and they said that Searsport has the best fireworks for anywhere that they've ever been to. So we're working on a system. If you know a fireman or you know an ambulance person, we'll probably have a tone put out that the fireworks have been canceled. If you know the weather's iffy and you know somebody's got scanner, they'll hear it go out. And that's all I got.
Okay, I got a couple of things I want to mention. First is this coming Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Those of us that are working on the Heritage Weekend will be meeting here in this room. This is open to anyone who is interested in helping and participating that weekend, which is coming up first weekend in August. And don't get upset with me, James. But yesterday, I took it upon myself to talk to both WABI TV and WLBZ TV to see if they'd be willing to come down there and do a feature on what's happening in Searsport. WABI was very enthusiastic about it. She thanked me for calling her. She said it sounded like a tremendous story. I told her about the new school, Searsport being the port of entry for all these wind products that are coming through. All the buildings going on in town. So hopefully one of them will be getting hold of you very near future.
Great.
Okay. And while we're on basically that same subject, you recall last month's Maine Townsman magazine featured Bucksport.
Yep.
And what they were doing to try to overcome the loss of the mill. I think we need equal billing. We've got a great deal going on. We've got more than just a list of dreams and wishes. So I'd recommend that we get all Maine Municipal and see if they would do a write-up on us as well on that magazine.
I'll see what I can find out.
That's all I have.
Good point.
Any other board member have anything before we move on? Okay. Item 14, once again, open to the public and the viewing public. Charlene, your hand is up first.
Yeah.
I'll let her go first. You know how it is.
I want to thank the town for allowing me to spend hours this year using the original town reports. I know many people might not get as excited about that as I have been, but I have been. And I've sat here for hours picking out little things, which is what I do. And I've enjoyed it very much. One of the reasons I've been doing that is because I've been working now for 2 years on a project that I'm going to be sharing at Curtis Hall next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. It's about what the men in your positions were doing over 100 years ago. Creating the town poor farm and dealing with the smallpox epidemic that came in 1890 and building a pest house. To me, it's fascinating. I kept seeing the words poorhouse when I was going through them, and I knew nothing. And I'd never heard of a pest house. I hope you haven't either.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, please come, 7 o'clock next Tuesday night.
Where was the
Curtis
best
Hall.
house at?
Is that
Wasn't it
not
right-
Up on Black Road.
Right,
Black Road,
well,
okay.
Bob and Marietta Ramsdale live.
Yeah, up above.
On the- right.
Where the,
I remember the foundation.
Yes, that's right.
But
Yes,
we
there's the
can't go because
foundation.
we have a workshop.
And where's that again?
We gotta see if we can film you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Where's that located again?
Curtis Hall.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie.
Yeah.
Bob, you had something?
I just wanted to thank the members of the select board and the town manager and others for participating in the Waldo County emergency, summer storm emergency exercise on the fourth Tuesday of May, 24th of May. We had a real good exercise, and I think it helped all of us understand what our roles are and what the issues would be if we have a hurricane or other severe storm in town.
Yeah, but anyone else like to speak before we move on? Okay, thank you. James, we do have an executive session, right?
Yes.
Okay. Time I'll take a motion to enter executive session
So moved.
for a confidential and personnel matter.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to enter executive session for a confidential personnel matter. I move, we're going to executive session at 7:45. Okay, we'll be back in regular, tomorrow executive session, regular session at 7.
Motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, tomorrow executive session and regular session 8:07. All in favor? Now entertain a motion on the general assistance matter.
I'll move that we, as a WP 1603, we authorize up to $600 from the J.D. Lawrence Fund.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, authorize up to $600 to WP 1603. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Hold on.
And I move we
What'd you
adjourn.
say, 4-0 or 5-0? 5-0, right.
Yeah.
I will.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?